PPT visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's start. In the previous class, we have discussed, in the last three classes, we have discussed about the linear regression, right? Linear regression, and we have seen with the one example of the restaurant in which the tip is dependent on the total amount of bill that customer paid, right? Customer paid to the restaurant. So this tip is dependent on that bill, and we have tried to develop the model for the tip. Okay, so based on that we have developed we have seen two types of the model linear regression. In first case, the tip is only provided, however the bill is not provided. Okay, and the second case, the both the variable tip variable and the bill variable, that is the dependent and independent variable, both are available, and based on that we have tried to find out. And further we have discussed the y how the this equation b naught beta 1 cap x has been calculated, how it is developed, in which the population parameter beta naught cap and beta 1 cap is calculated. Okay, so we have already discussed these things in the linear regression. So today, this is now we are going to start the next topic. Okay, in which the some first order and second order control response we are going to start today. Okay, so this before going to start that topic, uh, this is the classical example, one of the example given in the Seaborg book. Okay, so just try to solve this problem. Okay, in this problem, an experiment has been performed to determine, this is your task, okay, assignment you can say, to solve. So an experiment has been performed to determine the steady state power delivered by a gas turbine driven generator as a function of fuel flow rate. The following normalized data were obtained. Okay, so this is the fuel flow rate and this is the power generated. So if the fuel flow rate is in let's say 1, so your power generated is 2. Okay, so and like that. Okay, so this is like that. So you have to develop the linear and quadratic model and analyze the result. Okay, so I have only taught you the linear model, however the quadratic model I have not taught. But in the Seaborg, book, the formula is given, and you may read how that formula may be implemented, and how the, you can say here, this beta 1, beta 2, beta 3, how you can find with that formula. That formula is already given in the book. Okay, so I request you to go through that book, okay, and try to find out this also. So when you find out the model, you know how the beta 1 and beta 2, what the formula for the beta 1 and beta 2 for in the linear model prediction. Okay, so you can find out this value. Okay, so you can see here the square error, that is the error when you calculate. Okay, so that error, how this error be calculated, so very you can find out yi minus y. Okay, y cap I 1i. Okay, one, sorry, 1i. Okay, and with the help of this error, okay, you can square this, okay, and sum to take the summation of this value, right? So 2 minus 0, this minus this minus this minus this minus this minus this, and you can add this, okay, square after squaring the error, and add. So you will get such type sum, this error, this square SSC. However, in the case of the quadratic model prediction model, when you find out this beta 1, beta 2, beta 3, okay, and based on this, when you calculate the value to I, so you will get like this series. Okay, and when you calculate the error, that error will be calculated by this minus, okay, and take you some square. So you got it. So this type of the error is found. So the conclusion is which one is a more accurate model. Okay, so you can conclude here the quadratic model prediction or quadratic model. This model is the more accurate, but at the same time the complexity of computation, the complexity in the computation of the beta 1, beta 2, beta 3 become very tough. Okay, so this one is the case. In the next, now we are going to start the new topic, that is the time domain analysis.
Sir, can you show the question once more?
Yeah, this question is already available in the book. This question is already available in the book Seaborg.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Ah,
in the empirical modeling chapter, right?
yes, sir.
Okay, comes the next point, that is the time domain analysis. In the time domain analysis, we have already gone through the control theory, LTI control theory in the fifth or sixth semester in the BTech course. So I don't think so you are not aware, but some point of view I just brush up your previous thought. So in the time domain analysis, the response of dynamic system to an input is expressed as a function of time. It is possible to compute the time response of system if the nature of the input and the mathematical model of the system are known. So you have already gone through how the mathematical model will be find out, and how the nature of the input, how it will vary. We will show you in some time. So the input signal to control system are not fully ahead of time. Okay, and it is therefore difficult to express the actual input. Very important line I'm telling you. Actual input signal mathematically by simple equation. So it is very difficult. It is very difficult to express the actual input signal. Actual input signal means, let's say we want the step signal, a step signal, and the step signal is mathematics. It is simply defined like this. Yes or no? So can you tell me t, what is the value of t equal to 0 of this function ft?
One.
It's always one.
It's always 1. Sure? Are you
Yes,
sure?
sir.
No,
Okay.
after zero. In positive value, it's one. In negative value, it's zero.
At t equal to 0, if someone is telling, so let's say I'm spoke कि ये वैल्यू 0 होना चाहिए. So what is your opinion? 0 भी है मुझे लग रहा है, 1 भी मुझे लग रहा है. How can you decide? आपने जो पढ़ा है उसको भूल जाओ, कुछ देर के लिए भूल जाओ. How can you confirm that the value of t equal to 0 is value 1 only? Why not 0? Okay. For t less than 0, it is very clear the picture is 0, right? And for the t greater than 0, also it is clear very well value is 1 or whatever the value. But at t equal to 0, it is very typical to say what is the value, what is the exact value. Okay. So the value, actually this value, this signal is a discontinuous. The signal is discontinuous. Right? Why discontinuous? Because this is not differentiable function. This is not the differentiable function. Okay. So for t less than 0, it is the differentiation is 0. However, this value, the differentiation for the t greater than 0, the differentiation of this function is again the constant value, so it is 0. It becomes 0. However, the t equal to 0, you can't say the what is the value. So this is not a continuous signal. So we are taking, the average value, the exact at where the signal is discontinuous. Okay. So we are taking the average value. So average value of this is, I don't remember the exact theorem. What is the theorem of that? So in signal system, I just forget it the name. that value is 1 by 2, average value, right? So is it clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So this value is 1 by 2, but for the mathematical calculation or mathematical check, we are taking the value 1. But the value is not 1 in exact way. So in the if I'm saying that just try to develop a step signal, so it is very easy to draw by the pen of the signal, but it is the most typical in order to generate that signal. Okay, so if you're seeing such type of signal will be occurred when you're going to generate the signal. Okay, so what is that signal? If the t less than 0, for the t less than 0, the signal is going to start rise and then it becomes a constant after some time. So this period we are taking the very less time. Okay, we are taking this period is very, we are saying it is a very less time, and this is approaching to 0, and therefore the ideal situation is this one, the ideal situation, but it is not the real time. So actual signal mathematically we are not, but it is very difficult. Suppose that I am saying the impulse signal. So what is the meaning of impulse signal? Anyone can tell me? What is the meaning of impulse signal? What is the impulse signal? Yes, please. It is very easy.
Its
Delta
value
t. Delta t is equals to
1.
1 for
T equal to 0.
t equal to 0 and
0 for any else.
so it is not, I have said impulse signal, not the unit impulse. So are you right to write here 1 if I have not told the unit
No.
signal? So what is the value now? Can you
K or
do
any
you want any
value.
correction?
K.
K. Anyone who want to any more correction? No. What the concept of this impulse signal? Just look here. Let's say this is the gate function. This gate function is minus t by 2 to t by 2, and the magnitude is, let's say, 1 by t. So what is the total area? Can you tell me? What is the total area of this rectangular function? What is the total area of this rectangular function?
2.
2 minus t by 2 to t by 2 कितना हुआ?
So t.
T.
Okay,
And what is this? So 1 by t.
0.
So what is the area?
Okay, sir. 1. हाँ.
So this is 1. गेट कैसे तुम लोग का क्लियर हो गया जी? हाँ? तो 1 हो गया. So 1, it means now let's say I am saying कि the area should be the 1. The area should be the 1. डेल्टा t का जो एरिया है वो 1 ही रहना चाहिए. एरिया ऑफ दिस फंक्शन should be 1. Okay. However, this length, the breadth minus t by 2 to t by 2, now we are going to reduce. So how this will be adjust? Can anyone tell me? इसको आपको कम करना है तो क्या करना होगा? एरिया हमको 1 रखना है, तो
Height increase करना है.
हाइट आपको बढ़ाना पड़ेगा. It means now we are going to increase this one. Am I right? Yes or
Yes,
no?
sir.
So now I'm telling you, let's say t को अप्रोच कर दो 0 की तरफ, मतलब ये बहुत ही कम होना चाहिए, मिनिमम होना चाहिए, 0 होना चाहिए, बट एरिया शुड बी द 1. सो आइडियली क्या होना चाहिए?
Length will be infinite.
Yes,
Length will be infinite.
this should be the infinite. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So this is the case. At the t equal to 0, the value is impulse. The infinite value, the very, very high value. Infinite value means very, very high value. So we can write here delta t is equals to infinite. Okay, for t equals to 0 and 0 for t is not less than 0. T not equal to 0. So this is the ideal condition, and for the gate function it had been found. The idea is this. Okay, so the idea is for the t when we are going to approach t equal to 0, the value is very, very large. it means in the real time, in the real time you are going to rise, you are going to pour some amount of water or a very high amount of water in the very less time. One of the example I am just giving in the industry, suppose that anyone can tell impulse function, fine, impulse signal है ये. Impulse signal means in very less amount the magnitude of that signal is very high, right? That is not मतलब ideally this one is infinite, but it is very high. Okay, in the unit impulse, the unit impulse is defined as simply delta t is equals to 1 for t is equals to 0 and t naught is equals to 0, this is 0, right? So this is the case. Okay, now come to the next point, that is your, okay, so we have the different types of the signal, and the signal is defined with the help of some characteristic of the input, and that characteristic of the input I have already discussed, sudden shock. Sudden shock means in the very small time the value of the magnitude is very high. However, a sudden change means it is just like the step signal, right? Sudden change. Constant velocity means linear, or you can say ramp signal. Constant acceleration, it is just like a parabolic signal. So we have the different types of signal: the sudden shock, sudden change, constant velocity, constant acceleration. And now we are going to draw some mathematical foundation based on this. Okay, the dynamic behavior of a system is therefore judged and compared under application of a standard test signal, that is the impulse, step, constant velocity, acceleration. Okay, so other signal is also the sinusoidal signal. We will discuss in some point. Okay, we have already discussed these things. Okay, also we have discussed these things. Okay, ramp signal, you know, the RT is nothing but the AT. Okay, this is a linear. Okay, for t greater than equal to 0. Okay, the ramp signal with slope A, you already, this is well known, and this is the parabolic signal, that is the AT square by PT is equals to AT square by 2 for t greater than equal to 0, right? This is the characteristic like this one. Okay, now come to this. There is a relation between the standard test signal, you know already how this is correlated with each other. So when you integrate the delta t, you got, when you integrate the delta t, you got the ut. How this mathematically we can, geometrically you can solve. Let's say this is the delta t for t equals to 0. For t is equals to 1, let's say the impulse function is delta t minus 1 is defined like this one. If delta t minus 2 is this one, delta t minus 3 this one. Okay, so now delta t minus k, right, and k is varying from, let's say, 0 to infinite. So such type of signal will come, and we have just added. So this will just representing what? It is just representing, you know, infinite, you can say the sum, or you can say the integrate. So from t minus, let's say, k is equals to 0 to infinity. So it will provide a continuous signal, that is the step signal. Okay, so when you integrate this signal, you got the a step signal, and when you integrate the step signal, because ut integration of a dt is simply a t, and this will become, okay, right, and when you integrate this one, you got the parabolic signal. In the reverse way, if you differentiate the parabolic signal, you will got the ramp signal, and when you differentiate the ramp signal, you got the, you know, you got the step signal, and when you differentiate the step signal, you will got the impulse signal, right? So this is the case. Now come to the Laplace transform. You know the Laplace of this function is, you know, 1. Okay, or if the constant is a, so this the constant will become a, right? So a step signal a by s, it is very well known, and for the ramp this is a square, for the parabolic a by s cube. I don't think so you find any problem, because you have already gone through in the BTech courses. Okay, So just what is the meaning of time response? What is dynamic response or transient response? Transient response means when you provide some input to the system, it is a model or it has a mathematical model, and this mathematical model, when you implement some input, you got some output. Okay, when you, so this output have some transient, have two components. First one the transient response, second the steady state response. So transient response means, let's say you got such type of response. Okay, so this the variation in some value when you disturb the input. Okay, because let's say the input, the steady state, before the at the steady state, the input was, let's say, this one, or you can say, let's say, this is the signal. So let's say the flow rate was for t less than 0. For t less than 0, the flow rate was, let's say, f1. Okay, and at certain time you just change the flow rate, let's say f2. So you have you have disturbed the flow rate, and based on that flow rate, the output will also disturb, and after certain time it will got the steady state, or it will got certain constant. So that time period in which the response is disturbed, that time period is known as the transient response, transient time. Okay, and after that the constant, the response becomes constant. That is called the steady state response. Okay, so same picture is here deposit. When the response of the system is changed from equilibrium, it takes some time to settle down. Okay, and that time is the transient response. Okay, so the response of the system after the transient response is called the steady state. After this time, it's called the steady state. Okay, you can now visualize, it is very picture clear that this is the transient response, the steady state response. Okay, so now the transient response depends on the system poles only and not on the type of the input. That is very clear if you leave that. It is therefore, I'm not going to details of this because it becomes again the beta course. Okay, this is let's say the problem which has the one pole Cs upon Rs is equals to k tau tau. This is the first order system, and in the first order system this k is known as the DC gain. However, the t is the time constant of the system. T becomes the time constant of the system. Okay, so the time constant is a measure. What is the meaning of time constant? So time constant is a measure how quickly the first order responds to this value. Okay, or what is the DC gain? How the DC gain will be calculated? DC gain of the system is the ratio between the input signal and the steady state value. Input signal and steady state value. One or two questions may have been already asked in the GATE exam based on this DC gain. Okay, so what is the value of this in the DC gain and this? So at the steady state value, simple, this becomes in the final by applying the final value theorem, the denominator becomes, you know, the s you can take the 1 by s becomes infinite. Put करेंगे 0 आ जाएगा. Sorry. Yes, so this value becomes 0 and the DC gain becomes 10, and the time constant is, you know, t tau s plus 1, that is 3. Okay, so you can calculate like this one also, how this the following system is this one 3 upon s plus 5. So 3 you can take the 5 common. Okay, so this becomes, so k upon tau s plus 1 is the standard equation. So you, with the help of this, you can find out the DC gain and already this. Okay, so now come to the next, that is the when you apply the impulse signal, then how the response will change. So you can see here, this is the CS upon the first order system. So for the first order system, just you know, CS upon RS. CS upon RS is equals to k upon T tau s plus 1, and RS is equals to, you know, RS is here 1. So CS is simply k tau s plus 1. When you take the impulse inverse Laplace, you got only this response. Means simple, you are decaying signal. Okay, so such type of response will got. Okay, now come to the next, that is your step signal when you provide. So when you take this such type of signal, So you can just with the help of partial you know fraction, you can you can write loud like this, yes or no. So you can find and solve this equation. Okay, so just you will get the, when you take the Laplace inverse, so this signal. Okay, so what is the significance of this signal? This signal says nothing but the Ct is equals to k 1 minus e to the power. What is the value of signal? This 1. What is the e to the minus t? This signal is e to the power minus t. Okay, e to the power minus something. Now we have the negative sign, so it is just like this one. Okay, so take this. This is the response. This is the response. Okay, so the important thing is, if you, let's say we have, what is the time constant? Okay, what is the, how the time constant is defined? So time constant is generally defined, let's say that, let's say we have the t is equals to capital T. T is equals to capital T. Okay, when the t is equals to capital T, then it becomes 1, or when it is 1, it means it is 0.632, that is the 63%, 63.2% of k. So what is the k? What is the k is here? Let's say k. What is the k? K is the steady state value. K is the steady state value. How does the steady state value we calculated? At the steady state value, this decaying is becomes constant or 0, almost 0. So we have taken 0. So this becomes k, right? So by the way, you have calculated in like this, Ct is equals to k, like this. Okay, and the value of k is here considered like 110. Okay, so how this will be calculated? So 63.2% of the value k, whatever the time is taken, that time is nothing but the time constant t. Okay, time constant t, and that this again is nothing but the steady state input. Okay, or whatever the output is, this 10 or steady state output, and the input is, you know very well, the step input, so 1. Okay, so you have calculated like that. Okay, so now the important point is here, you have also, I know, aware, most of the student, so 63.2% will take in rising of the 1t. Okay, however, if you would just taken t is equals to capital 2t, it means the 2t is taken in order to achieve the 86.5% of the value k, or your steady state value. Your steady state value, in order to achieve the value putting the time 2t, it means you have achieved 86% of that value. If you put the 83t, it means you have achieved 95%. However, if the 4t, you got 98%. If you got 5t, it means you have achieved 99.3%. Okay, so you can see here the value of the Ct becomes only 1 when it becomes 0. And how it becomes 0? How it becomes 0? When t is equals to infinite. T is equals to infinite, and is not possible. T is equals to infinite time, and very large time. It means very large time. Okay, so 99.3% of this percent, you can say that the system take the 5 times constant to reach the final value. You can conclude here. By this value, you have the settling time. It is settled, already settled. Okay, so now see the response, k is equals to 10, or this value, when the time constant is going to increase 1357, your response is going to delay. Your response is slower. Yes or no? You can see here, when the time constant is going to increase. Okay, so already I have told the time constant is nothing but the how it tells the quick response. Quick response, yes or no? Time constant measure how quickly first order system responds. It is very important. So for the quick, it is necessary to become less value of the capital time constant. Okay, and if you set value k is equals to 1, 3, 5, 10, and t, let's say time constant is 1, and we are going to vary this one. So like this is going to increase. K is equals to 1, k is equals to 3, it is going to a step up. Okay, So come to the next. Already discussed. I have already discussed these things. Okay. Now come to the problem, and then I will close the session. And this problem is already taken from the Seaborg. I already told you the concept. The question is very interesting question. Just see and try to solve. In question in the Seaborg problem, this problem is figure number. It is mentioned there, the 7.4. So you can take the reference of that picture. In figure 7.4 shows the response of temperature T. This is the response of the temperature T in a continuous stir tank reactor. Let's say this is the response of the CSTR, continuous stir tank reactor, to a step change in a feed flow rate. Let's say in before this time the flow rate was 120 kg per minute, and after this time the flow has been changed to 125 kg per minute. Okay, when you apply this input to this reactor CSTR model, let's say this is some model, then the response of the system, the change in the temperature is varying like this one, 142, this value 160. So question is, find an approximate first order model for the process and this operating condition. The question is the reverse. You don't have the model. You don't have the model. Just there are some, in the plant, just you have changed the system, and you observe this type of the response on the screen, and now the examiner or some person have asked you to develop or to approximate this model. How this what should be the model of the system? So the CSTR is obviously it is a first order system. So for the first order system, you have to calculate the value of K and tau. Okay, so 140 to 160, and this is the 5 minute. So you can calculate the 63.2% of this change. You can calculate the 63.2% of this change. So just to find out, let's say this is 63.2% of change, and this time you can draw the line and you can calculate it. This time is 5 seconds. So your tau is, you have calculated the 5 second or 5 minute, whatever, 5 minute. Now the question is K. How the K will be calculated? So the very easy problem. So how the K will be calculated? We have already said the steady state value, change in the steady state value outputs and change in the steady state input. Okay, so the input is changed. How the input is changed? Input is changed from 125. You can see here 125 minus 120. 125 minus 120. This is the change in the input. Okay, and how the temperature is changed? 160 minus, this is the infinite value, this is the input change started value, to 160 minus 40, there's a 20 degrees Celsius. So this K you can calculate by 20 degrees Celsius divided by 5 kg per minute. So this is a 4 K. Okay, so now this is the K. So K upon tau s plus 1, you can say that the 4 upon 5s plus 1 is your transfer function. Now what is the value, what is the temperature at the 5 minute? At the temperature at the 5 minute, at the time constant, what should be that value? So you can calculate it. This is the value at initial. So T0 plus whatever the value at 63%. So that's 63%. You have made the value, the increment 20 degrees Celsius change the temperature, and you calculated 63.2%. So just to multiply this and add with this value, you will get the overall the temperature at the 5 second. Okay, so this is the problem, and it is, I think you understand. Okay, so this is the first order with 0. Here the 0 of the system lie at the 1 minus 1 by alpha, and pole is lying at the minus 1 by t. Okay. So you can also calculate the same in the same way using the partial fraction, the response of the system, right? Okay, now the important point is, now it is very important, delay time. Now we are going to introduce the delay time in the system. So delay time TD, this is very important for the exam purpose also. TD, time delay e to the power minus s of TD, this represent the time delay in the response in the system. How this is going to represent the delay? Let's see. This is the this is the response of the time delayed system, and how this time delay will provide, we are going to see here. And this is the nothing but the very important topic, transportation lag, and also known as the time delay. Okay, time delay, and also known as the lag time. Okay, to see, let's say we are going to give some input at this point. Let's say this is some pipe. Okay, and this pipe, we are going to introduce some input here. Let's say some flow is there, and the length of this pipe is L, and the area of cross section of this area of this pipe, let's say this is A. So let's say this is the flow we have provided at t equals to 0, t is equals to 0 at this point, or this tube Q. So what is the time, or you can say at what at the after you can say some certain time will be taken in order to pass this pipe, and we get the same flow with certain time. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
At the t is equals to 0, let's say you have provided the Q. So after this pipe have taken some time in order to flow this value, and after certain time that flow will occur here. So you can say here, when you provide this input xt, when you provide the xt, the response will not start instantly. The response will not start instantly. It has certain delay in the system, like this transportation, in order to transport this system, or in order to transport this value. Okay, and this transportation delay is known as transportation lag, or the dead time, or the distance velocity lag. In order to understand the same thing, you have, let's say the input is here step, you can say here this such type of signal is there xt, then the response will come after certain time, and this delay tau is nothing but the dead time, distance, or the transportation lag. Now the question is how this transportation delay is calculated, how transportation lag is calculated. Okay, so let's say we have the volume of the tube. Volume of the tube, how is the volume of the tube calculated? A into L. Okay, and what is the flow rate? That flow rate is always, I have already told you, this is a volumetric flow rate. Volumetric flow rate meter cube per second, or meter cube per minute. So when you see, this is a meter cube and this is a meter cube per second, so it will provide the time constant, time equals to second. So this is the method by which you can calculate that transportation lag. Okay, now come to the next question. How mathematically we have going to solve this transportation lag? Let's say yt is, you got yt at xt minus tau. Am I right? You got yt at x of t. If I am writing the yt in term of xt, how this can be written? So this can be written as x of t minus tau. Yes or no?
Yes.
So xt minus tau. So if you take the Laplace of this function, yt is equals to x of t minus tau. So it will obviously gives e to the power minus tau s into xs. Ys is equals to this function. Or if you take the transfer function ys upon xs, then it becomes e to the power minus tau s. Okay, now see the magic of the mathematics. E to the power minus tau s may be written as this one, 1 upon tau s. And e to the power x is written as a 1 plus x square upon factorial 2 plus all that at. So thus this equation has been written. But let's say e to the power minus tau s, we have already written like this, 1 upon 1 plus tau s. How? Because if this equation is, if we discard the higher value of tau, because this time constant is very less, it means ideally we assume that there's a no lag or there's a no time delay in order to pass this value from this to this. Ideally it should be the 0, because we are not bothering about that delay, we are bothering about the transient response of the system. Okay, so that's why if this value is very less, then we can neglect the higher value of the time constant, and therefore we can write the e to the power minus tau s is equals to e to the power minus tau s is equals to 1 upon 1 plus tau s. Also, you can write e to the power minus tau s as e to the power minus tau s by 2 e to the power minus tau s e to the minus tau s is equals to e to the power minus tau s by 2 into e to the power minus tau s by 2, if I'm not wrong. And this minus you can write like e to the power minus tau s by 2 upon e to the power tau s by 2, and this is the case. Is it clear? Okay, so now when you expand this equation to, it becomes 1 upon 1 minus tau s by 2, and this becomes 1 plus tau s by 2. This is the minus and this is the plus. So this is the called as very important first order Padel approximation. I will ask this question based on the numerical portion. The input is like this one, so how your output will going to change? In similar way, if you take the second term in the numerator and denominator, you are considering, that is called the second order Padel. The first order Padel and the second order Padel. Okay, so I'm just stopping here our discussion, and we will discuss the remaining thing in the next lecture. Okay, so thank you.